because I do 1,300 crunches and sit-ups 4 times a week.
What's a dose? Can you translate for us?
Winner of the gold medal and the champion golfer of the year is Ernie Els.
All right, so welcome back to the Go Track podcast. You're probably hearing a little bit of an unfamiliar voice. Terence has given me the reins this week. I'm getting into my sort of journalistic mold, and I'm going to be doing a sort of one-on-one. It's a 2-ball. I've got a guest on the show for this week, and I'll tell you, it's a pretty prominent guest because he's one of the guys that's in some really good form on the Sunshine Tour this season. I'm joined by Jono Broomhead. Jono, how's everything going? You look like you've been in some pretty good form lately. How's everything going?
Yeah, good. I think from the start, in last season, I kind of kicked things off a bit, and I think the big thing is I've had my girlfriend on the bag, so it's made a big difference. Honestly, like I've played my best golf since I've had her caddying for me. So yeah, things have been good at the moment, which is nice. Just trying to keep it going, really.
Well, let's start with that then. When was that decision made? What's your girlfriend's golf knowledge like? Is she reading putts? Is she giving you the correct clubs?
I would say she's one of the better caddies on tour, to be honest with you. She's actually a professional golfer herself. So
brilliant.
She's got such a good understanding for the game. Keeps me sane when I need to be. So it's really good. We click on while we things are good when she caddies for me, which is really nice.
I guess the big question now is, does she beat you?
I mean, you always got to be nice sometimes. So no. Yeah, she plays a good golf. Yeah,
we'll leave it there. Just for the safety of your relationship and your form. Yeah. I think we'll leave it there. As I mentioned, you've been in fantastic form. We just look at the last couple sort of results. You won the Vodacom Origins of Golf down the Wild Coast Sun a couple of weeks ago. You finished T5 this last weekend at Glendower. You've had 9 top 10 finishes this season, 4 top 5s. And at the moment, you are 3rd on the Order of Merit on the Sunshine Tour. So I know that it's been a couple seasons now for you on the circuit. Have you really sort of felt at home this season?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like I said, I ended last year in some good form. And I think what I've been working on with my coach, Doug Wood, I'm just in a good place at the moment. It's just more of like things are going my way. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like quite confident on the golf course, which is, I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty much all you want. And then, you just kind of let your game do what it's supposed to do. And yeah, like I said, my game's in a good place. So yeah, it's been nice. It's not more of a surprise, but I've put in some good work to be where I am at the moment. So it's nice that you can see that it's all kind of falling into place.
Yeah. Do you think that there's sort of any changes you've made to your game over sort of when you became a pro to now that have sort of set you on this path? Or is it just a case of maybe gaining more experience playing with guys that have probably been on the tour for many, many years?
Yeah, you obviously, like your first year, I mean, last year it was, most of the courses, but you always kind of make the moment quite big. So you do get a bit ahead of yourself. I know I was in some good positions last year that could have gone my way, and I just mentally wasn't really in the right space. So I think you kind of, like I said, like experience, you learn. I remember my first event last season, of my pro career, really. I was in the final group it was the Zim Open at Rollerari. I was in the final group, and you almost, because you've, like, amateur golf sets you up nicely, but it's different, I kind of just really was ahead of myself. I was looking at the bigger picture, not really focusing on what's going on at the moment, and it finished shocking. I think I shot like it was 43 the back nine or something. So like it, yeah, and then obviously you get in your position not more and more, and yeah, it's just the experience. You ride on it, and then when you get into that position, like I've been in those positions this year, you almost not know what to do, but you know how to handle yourself, and I think that's a really big thing with. I see it all the time, even overseas and stuff. There's guys that not often are in that position, but the guys that are in the position more often really come out on the better hand. So yeah, I've taken a lot of my experience that I learned last year. Last year was a big learning curve for me, and yeah, I'm just kind of rolling with it. Yeah, and then just sticking to my guns really.
Okay. You've sort of taken a different route. Obviously, a lot of guys will go straight from school, maybe go to the States. You've sort of went through the amateur ranks locally and you're playing on the local tour. Was that ever a consideration of yours? Were you ever looking to maybe head to the States and go that route? Or are you quite happy with the route that you've taken?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously the States it's a great opportunity. I know there's some guys there at the moment that are doing nicely, and it's a nice booster. I mean, a lot of the opportunities there compared to here or yeah, you can't really compare them. But yeah, my big thing was, shame, my mom, she was really big on you're not playing golf unless you study. So yeah, academics wasn't my thing. Luckily, COVID was on my hands, so I could. My COVID year was all online. It was copy and paste really. So which was nice. Yeah. So literally, yeah. Like I said to everyone, if it wasn't for COVID, I'd probably still be redoing my degree. So yeah. So yeah, so I did a varsity college degree, and then yeah, played amateur golf in between all of that, and I found it was quite a big thing because you're young, you're not really mature yet. So when it went to my practice schedule, it was nice in the sense of I had say 4 hours or 5 hours of the day that I actually had to practice, and then the rest was obviously all varsity. So I feel I feel that if I didn't study and I just had 12 hours of the day to practice, I kind of would have like not really taken it as seriously. So all of that I think worked in its favor and pretty much prepared me for where I am now really, and obviously where I'd like to be.
Yeah, let's chat about that COVID period for you as a sort of budding professional golfer and looking to sort of make that step up. And you get to a situation now where you can't go outside, or you can, I guess you could go practice, but like there were no tournaments for a while. And what was your sort of mindset like through that? Were you just, I'm going to practice as hard as I can until we're allowed to play again? Or did you sort
Yeah,
of think maybe take some time away from the game, or what is your attitude there?
I actually did do that for the first. I think it was for like the first 2 or 3 weeks. I really didn't do much. I just parked really. I didn't touch a club. Did what most people were doing during COVID and just really do nothing. But yeah, and then I mean we've got a hitting net at home, and then after the 3 weeks, I started using that a bit. So yeah, and then as it went on, we just kind of did our thing. And I think towards the end of COVID, I think it was like the September, we played our first amateur event at Irene, and yeah, it was so weird being out there. I mean, you practiced and you've hit all these golf balls, but now you're on that golf course and you're like, okay, how do I do this? So it was, it was very weird. It was quite tough as well. But yeah, once that all went through, it was you kind of just got back into your rhythm and did what you've been doing before COVID, obviously.
Mm. And heading sort of forward now for the rest of the season, obviously, I know that as a Durban Country Club member, we've got the SA Open, the Investec SA Open coming back to Durban, which is huge for the city. And I guess as a hometown boy in Durban, it's going to be massive for you. Is that a big goal of yours to be in that field?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So obviously, with the two wins that I've had, they have
Okay.
put me into that tournament. So it works on your category really. So obviously being in the winners category, you
Mm.
exempt for 2 years. So into the DP and the Challenge Tour co-sanctions that we've got. I'll be playing those. But yeah, I mean, like I said, like being in Durban, I've been there for 10 years plus. Obviously, the course has changed, but there's still a part of it where you're like, okay, I know here, I know there. So you do have the upper hand. It is going to be very exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. I've played Country Club quite a few times since it's open, and it's looking unbelievable. So yeah, it's going to be a really exciting week. Obviously, got my parents there and family there, so I think they'll be quite keen to have a walk around the golf course and see how it goes. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are going to happen, or that are happening before that. We're off to Spain. We leave beginning of November for the final stage of DP qualifying. So yeah, obviously that's also quite a big step in my career going forward now. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are going to happen before all of this. So things are hopefully going to go my way, really.
So now that there was a bit of an oversight from me, but like you're in that sort of winners category now, so you exempt into a lot of those events. Does that take a bit of a weight off your shoulders now that you can play in all those events locally, or are you now, given that you're going to go to DP World Tour qualifying, is that just the sole focus now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the way I've done my golf career so far, and my parents are really big on it, was you do your steps really. So best in school, best in your country or your province, best in your country, best in your province, club, country. Then you turn pro. Then you see it. Then you work it on like that. And I've ticked a lot of those boxes. And obviously I'm not the best on the Sunshine Tour at the moment, but I'm playing nicely, and I feel my next step is really to be overseas. So there's a lot of work that's been put into this. So yeah, I'm just trying to. I mean, it's a big stage. It's massive. But yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do, and hopefully it's my week. It's a crazy week. I mean, it's 6 rounds of golf, 2 courses. It's a real marathon. So I mean, luckily my girlfriend KB, she's going to be with me there, so she's going to have to work hard. But
so tell me, so tell me, how does that work? You say obviously all that golf, but like, what's the logistics around the whole thing?
Hectic. So we're leaving Sunday I think the 2nd or 3rd of November. The travel, obviously flying there is hard enough. Yeah, I mean, I've got a nice management company behind me, so they've covered a lot. Well, not covered, but they've done my itinerary really nicely, where the sense of like, they say, here's everything, you go play golf and do what you're supposed to be doing. So it's been nice in that sense, where we haven't really had to stress about flights and visas and all of that. So there's been a lot of people that have played their part in me getting there. So at the end of the day, I'm hopefully there just to go play some good golf and see what it does.
Yeah, but I guess you look at you there with, I don't even know how many other guys are there with exactly the same goal in mind. So you got to make sure that you're peaking at the right time, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you want to play good golf here in South Africa because it's your Sunshine Tour. You climb the leaderboard, order merit, and all of that. But then at the same time, you don't really want to make this your main priority. And then you get to Q School and you're like, okay, well, my good golf was 3 weeks ago. What am I trying to do now? So it's just trying to plan your way there, and while you're there, just kind of ease yourself into it and not really make it as big as a deal as it actually is. And I mean, I feel like if you can, like set your mind right and kind of just take it round by round, or even shot by shot, so ironic as it is. But yeah, you kind of just have to make it as you can say calm as possible.
Mm. Let's go back to Durban Country Club. You said you've played the new layout a couple of times. I managed to play it at the SA Open Media Day, and the pumping
Oh yeah,
wind off
yeah.
your tee boxes. I'll tell you, it wasn't fun, but it was an awesome day out. What are your takes? What are your thoughts on the sort of changes that they've made there?
Yeah, good. There's obviously been some holes that have made shorter. There's some holes that have been made longer. So overall, like, I'm quite impressed. I'm really impressed. I think the greens are going to have to play a big part in it. I know there are a lot of slopes and the contours are quite hectic. So I feel, I mean, I've heard from some guys that they're really wanting to make it a tough ESA Open.
Mm.
So I can only imagine it's going to be fast greens, firm greens. Hopefully, I feel that a big defense with Durban Golf is, or even at Durban Country Club, the wind has to blow to make it tough. I mean, coastal courses aren't that long with no wind.
Mm.
So, I mean, yeah, there was a tournament there a few years ago, and I mean they tore it to shreds really. So, but the weather was perfect. But if you put in a 30 or 40 kilometers per hour northeaster or even a southwester, I mean it plays a big part. So obviously all the conditions and and the weather really has to play their part um, to make it as hard as they're wanting to make it.
Do you expect there to be wind? Obviously, end of Feb, beginning of March. Are you expecting wind?
I don't know really. I know there might be a bit of rain, which could be the problem. But then
Mm.
obviously with what they've done, they've spent so much money on drainage that if it doesn't work, it's going to be a bit of a stuff up. So yeah, I would hope that there's wind because I mean, yeah, there's holes on there that I mean, if you're playing that 12th or that Prince of Wales with
Mm.
a 2 club or even a 3 club in off your right, you're just trying to hit the green. You're not even trying to
Yeah.
get to the flag. So yeah, I mean, it definitely plays different with certain winds. I mean, I think both that southwester and the northeaster play just as hard.
Hi, this is Dale Hayes, and you're listening to The Goat Track.
So a couple of weeks ago, we did an etiquette pod. Jacques de Villiers is our sort of he's our resident etiquette man and rules official, and it got some guys talking about sort of golf etiquette and how you go about it. I wanted to check with you, sort of not from a rules perspective, just from like a general etiquette perspective. What is the sort of like what's the thing that really gets your back up when you're playing with guys, even in a social environment?
Slow play. It's unbelievable. um, it's crazy. I mean, uh, not that you start worrying about how slow this guy's playing, but then it's always we 2 holes behind or a hole behind or the guys behind us are right up our right up us. And then yeah, it's kind of slow play is probably my worst one really.
Mm.
And so
Is
many
it a
guys
problem on tour?
yeah. I mean, obviously you got your marshals or your rules officials, but I remember that Wild Coast tournament we played now. I'm sure you know Wild Coast.
Mm.
So 12th, that par 5, that one where you tee up all the way down, you go down.
Yeah.
So we got onto the box and there were 4 groups waiting. It was crazy. We waited. It was like I think it was about half an hour that we sat on there,
Oh
and
my
it's obviously
goodness.
not the tee box you really want to be sitting and waiting to hit. You
No.
kind of want to get up and just whack it. So yeah, there are. I mean, and then also like obviously like some course setups kind of make it hard. So then obviously the harder it is, it's going to be slower because the guys are struggling and but the tour does do their best to keep the speed of play as good as it should be. But yeah, there obviously are times where you wait quite a bit, which does get quite annoying.
Yeah, how do you like? I guess it's a process, but how do you manage yourself when you're in that scenario? Because it clearly, I know for a lot of golfers, when you're sitting there waiting for guys to play, and you know that like they should be playing, How do you manage yourself in that situation, especially in a competition? Especially, let's say, for example, if you like leading on a Sunday, how do you sort of keep in the zone?
I'm not too sure really, but then at the same, well, not that I'm not too sure, but like having a nice caddy, like obviously having my girlfriend on there, you start just talking and you just talk about nonsense, and it's more of just like getting your head out of the tournament at that time, and then obviously when it's your time to play, you kind of like, okay, let's play a bit of golf now. So yeah, obviously like if you have nice playing partners, you can talk with them, but you often get guys that they just kind of stick to themselves and all that. So, but yeah, it's having a nice caddy or having a caddy you get along with obviously helps in those situations.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As we are the Goat Track, so we play golf. We don't discriminate against golf courses. For you, you've probably played every beautiful golf course in the country. What would be your favorite golf course that would qualify as a Goat Track? I know it's quite a broad term, but what would be your favorite?
So I grew up playing Toti and Papua.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to put Papua on my list. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a nice place. It's a tough golf course, but it's yachts. It's seen better days.
It's actually I drive past there every day to go to work, and it looks like it's in pretty good condition. I think that I've heard guys saying that they're putting in quite a lot of effort to sort of keep it up to scratch, which is good to hear.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, like we used to do most Sundays, my dad and I and my brother would go play. That's It's a nice course, but yeah, tough. You got to play. It's quite easy to end up in the trees there, but yeah, it's not one of the best conditioned golf courses around. You can say that.
So Jacques asked me to ask you this question. Your worst round of golf doesn't have to necessarily be as a professional. Your worst round of golf. Do you remember coming off the course and being like, "Geez, I think I might just hang my clubs up here."
I actually do. I played. So it was at school. So you obviously have for golf. We had like your inter schools and all that, and I think we were playing at Beechwood, or it was even like school champs or something. And I think I walked off there with like a 107 or something, and I was like, what am I doing? So yeah, I mean, I remember. So on that day, actually, we played. So we also played four balls. We were on the fourth hole, that par five, that one with the bank on the right and bank on the left. So in the four of us, our best score was a 6. I think we totaled, it was like, so there was a 6, there was an 11. So I made the 11. Then there was, someone made a 9 and someone made a 17. So
17.
yeah. So the four of us, I mean, we hacked it up on that. We really left our name there. So yeah, it was
that hole can get tough. But yeah, that course is another one that we probably won't dive too deeply into. But like when you like play with mates and you just having a casual round of golf, what is like if someone comes up to you and says, "Listen, Jono, I just need some advice. Like the golf's not looking good." So what is the sort of thing that you would say to your mates on the course, whether it be a sort of swing tip or just a general golf bit of advice?
I think the most common mistake by amateurs is they try to whack that ball as hard as they can. So I feel one, you've got to obviously slow your swing down, because theoretically, if you look at science, kind of in the science side of it, if you swing it at 80 or 70% and you hit the ball out the middle, you're going to hit it further than if you swing it at 100% and miss and hit the ball out off the side of the club. So, I mean, theoretically, yeah, you're just trying to. So obviously, that like one's a big thing of just trying to like slow your swing speed down, but then also just trying to find a rhythm. I mean, I saw a thing this morning, I think, with Nick Faldo. Nick Faldo was commentating, and Ernie was playing, and they were saying, if you ever struggle with your rhythm, you just look at Ernie, because the way Ernie does it. Well, the story Nick was saying, if you say Ernie, so Ernie on the backswing and then else down. If you say it like that, you theoretically should hit the golf ball and then end up hitting it like Ernie. So so I think rhythm is quite a big thing really with amateurs. I think get out the car, have a couple beers, and then now you're on the first tee box and you're trying to find the club face. So yeah.
I think that's a good one. Ernie else. I reckon that's I'm gonna adopt that on my swing, because I'm definitely guilty of that. Just head up onto the first tee and just try and drill the thing as far as you can.
Yeah. But I guess also playing with your mates, you're always trying to outdrive them. You never want to be the one hitting first. So
100%.
even if it matters, even if it means you swinging your socks off, you're going to do it.
So we got a couple of quick fire questions here. So I've got 5 quick fire questions. Let's get into it. Best golf course on tour.
Leopard Creek.
Fair enough. Worst golf course on tour.
Wild Coast.
Ooh, okay. The best clubhouse on tour.
Umkonyeni at Swaziland.
Okay, very nice.
Quite a little place, yeah.
And best chow on tour. Where are you going to get the best food?
Yeah, best food probably the Blair Athol Clubhouse. They're quite good.
Okay. And you can't say your girlfriend and your caddy. Who's your best mate on tour?
His name's Luke Brown. We call him Curly. He's
Okay.
one of my best mates. Yeah.
Have you guys been mates for a long time?
Not probably like the last year and a bit. Funny enough, Wild Coast. It was myself and Luke in the playoff. It was the weirdest thing ever. I mean, I want to win. He wants to win. I don't mind him winning. He doesn't mind me winning. Yeah, it was crazy, but it was good fun.
It seems like you guys have got like a really good group on the Sunshine Tour. Like guys are really happy for each other when they win and they do well. Like you just see when the guys win and you get sprayed by champagne and water and everything on the 18th. Is it a really nice vibe between the players?
Yeah, it is nice. I mean, you obviously do have your guys that not that you stay away from, but they're not really as welcoming as the others. But there's a handful of them. But yeah, for most of the guys on tour, like I said, there's a nice vibe between everyone. Everyone I remember, so after Wild Coast, we get back to Joburg, and then now it's time for Glendower. And you get on the range and the putting green, and everyone comes up to you, say, well done, well played last week. So there's a lot of good stuff from the guys, which is quite nice.
Okay. And let's just talk about sort of going forward. Obviously, you said that in a couple of weeks you're off to Spain. This week, where you guys this week?
So we got a week off this week.
Okay.
It's been quite hectic the last few weeks. We've had an 18-week stretch. We've played 15 of those weeks. So it goes from Ballito to Sishen or Sishen being in Northern Cape. So the travel's been hectic. So a week like this is quite nice. And then next week we go to Sun City for the Blue Label Challenge.
Okay.
And that's starts on Wednesday. So still got a bit of time, which is nice.
You guys do go to some interesting places. So tell me about Sishen.
In the middle of absolute nowhere. We drove there. It's about a 6-hour drive from Joburg. But honestly, such a cool golf course. It's ranked 9th in the country, I think, at the moment. Condition-wise, brilliant. A proper desert golf course. So it's obviously in the in Katu, which I mean you kind of you hit it in the trees and you are full of red sand. Uh, buck and a whole lot of animals around, which is quite like it's a really cool place. I mean, we were there for the whole week, and it's not the worst place to be. There's better places to be, which is quite nice.
I can't imagine there's a hell of a lot to do out there though, away from golf.
Absolutely nothing. We the we so the place we were staying at, we asked the lady that was hosting us, we're like, okay, so what can we do? What else is it to do? So she's like, there's a pub down there, there's a pub over there, and there's a pub over there, and that's pretty much all you do.
That's my next thing is sort of like, what is like the social scene like on the tour? Do you guys, I know we sort of touched on it a bit earlier, but like, do you guys hang out quite a lot? Do you guys go to the pub on sort of after Sunday to celebrate? Do the guys get along really well sort of off the golf course?
Yeah, I mean, you do obviously have your groups. You have your groups you travel, the guys you travel with, and that's kind of who you really hang around. But I mean, like even like after, there's obviously like some golf courses where the last thing you want to be doing is going out in that area. So, like for example, like at Sishin, or you finish your round of golf, you get in the car and you go home. You maybe have a beer or two, but it's nothing. Not like a Saturday round of golf with your mates where you're looking forward to the pub afterwards and not actually focusing on your golf. So it's it's like I said, it's more with the guys that you travel with that you kind of hang around, and not really. There obviously are guys all over the place drinking, not all over the place, but after a round they'll have a dop or two. But it's more with your guys you travel with.
Does Sun City get quite loose?
Yeah, I've heard some stories with some of the guys that even the strip club and the ex-club, man. Wherever there's a casino involved, no good.
Oh, so was Wild Coast interesting the other day?
Yeah. The guys, I mean, there's obviously not much to do in Wild Coast. So you go down to dinner to Spur, and you have your Spur, and you obviously have to walk through the casino to get there, and then you just look around, and there's all the guys, they're having something down on the table. But it's funny, it's weird because it's always the guys who miss the cut. So if you miss the cut, you spend more money than the guy that wins. Because they would be the ones there sitting at the bar drinking, spending their cash and all of that. So it's a bit strange. The way it works is a bit weird.
Absolutely, I can imagine. Guys are sort of spending the money that they're hoping to win back next week.
Yeah, exactly. If I can't win on the course, I'm going to win on the casino.
Jono, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much for joining us on the Go Track. We will be at the SA Open next year, and as a friend of the pod, we're definitely going to be rooting for you at Durban Country Club. Thanks for joining us. All the very, very best when you head off to Spain, and I'm sure that we will be watching your results as closely as possible.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I mean, really cool. It was nice to have a little chat.